Hey guys, Gregory here, and today we're going to be talking about how to hold chords properly on the guitar, the technique of gripping chords. This lesson is going to help you to feel a lot more comfortable when holding chords, and also is going to help if you have trouble with getting your chords to ring out clearly. So let's go. If you're new to playing the guitar, it's very likely that holding chords is an awkward experience. Most beginners tend to put a lot of focus on the fingers alone, but in this video we're going to shift the focus away from the fingers a little bit by paying attention to the hand and the wrist, because these are the things that really, once positioned well, help the fingers to do what you want. Okay, so to begin, I want you to put your hand in this type of shape here. This is a bit of a visual technique that I like to do. It's a kind of handshake with the fingers pointing straight out, and it's going to kind of give you a sense as to what the grip feels like when holding chords. So with your hand like this, we're going to put the neck right in the corner where the thumb meets the palm, like this, okay? And then let's talk about the ways the hand can move while it is here. So while it's here, your hand can move in different ways. We can point the hand to the left and to the right. We can point it up and down. We could close in the hand like this and open it back. We could slide the hand up and down the neck. Okay, different things we can do. Now, for this visual technique, I want us to start by having the hand in what I call a neutral position, meaning that the fingers are pointing perpendicular to the fretboard. So my fretboard is going this way and my fingers are more or less pointing out. It's not pointing left or right or up or down. And this part here is not closed in, not yet at least, because when we're making chords, this is the movement that we're going to use to get our fingers to reach the chords. This opening and closing movement here. The trick, however, is when we are using this part of the hand, we want to try to not lose too much of that neutral angle. We don't want the hand to start pointing left or right to the fretboard, okay? We want it to close in and still maintain that perpendicular angle, okay? Now, the most important thing, the reason why we are doing this kind of handshake thing is also to get the joints of the fingers in front of the fretboard. Very often beginners hold chords where some of the joints are behind the fretboard, and it really prevents the fingers from curling in the way that they would like it to. So it makes it very hard to get clear sounding chords. Okay, so let's go. We're going back to the handshake thing here. The handshake thing, as I like to call it. All right, and what we're gonna do now, we're gonna go to a G major chord. So it's important to start at the right position on the fretboard. So G is between the second and the third fret, so we could probably position the hand maybe right after this first line here. Okay, and I like to start with my first finger for G major. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use this part of the hand to get the finger to reach this note here, but we wanna just close it in just enough so that it touches the string, and no further than that. We don't wanna close it in all the way. Okay, that's going to make it hard for your third finger to reach the first string, right? So we're closing in the hand. Try to keep that neutral angle. Don't let the hand start to point away like this, because then it starts to get hard, right? Close it in just enough for your first finger to reach this note here. And once it is here, your middle finger shouldn't have too much of a hard time getting to the third fret 6th string. And your third finger, once this part here is open, shouldn't have too much of a hard time getting to the third fret 1st string, and there you have a G major chord. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing with 2 more chords, D. So same thing, we could start with the hand probably being right by this line here. Let's start with the first finger. We want to get the first finger to the 2nd fret 3rd string, so we're going to use this rotation of the hand to do that. Let's close it in just enough to get to that string, which is not a whole lot. And then the middle finger should be able to reach fairly easily. And the third finger, maybe we might need to close it in just a little bit more. And we should have it there. That's a D major. If you were to stick your fingers back out, you should have all of the joints in front of the neck. Okay, let's do C now. C is a bit on the opposite side because it's a wide chord. We're going to start with the hand maybe right behind the first line. It may differ depending. Okay. I like to start with the third finger. I want to get the third finger to reach this note here. So same thing, I'm going to close in the hand and get the third finger to reach. Try to maintain that neutral angle. Once it gets there, I would stop. I tend to have maybe just a finger space here, and then the middle finger goes on the 2nd fret, 5th, 4th string, and the first finger might be a bit of a stretch, but we want to get it on the 1st fret, 2nd string. Now it's not too uncommon to let the hand tilt a little bit that way. That helps in most cases. It kind of goes against the neutral angle that I was talking about, but it's not a big deal once you get the chord to fit comfortably, okay? And that is a C major. So that is the technique. It works for all open chords. Okay, so 2 things I want to add before ending this lesson. The first thing is that this technique that we're using here of actually making this handshake type of thing is really a visual guide to knowing what holding a chord should feel like. It's really there for you to see the angle of the hand. But once you get accustomed making chords, you really don't want to be doing this between chords, okay? So it's just a guide. The second thing that I want to say is, out of everything that I've talked about here, the most important thing to get the hang of holding chords is really just to persist. You will get it eventually, as long as you keep trying. Alright guys, so that was the lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share and subscribe. It will help me a lot. Now, if you are new to playing chords, I do suggest that you look at my video on how to change chords if I haven't put it out already. Okay, this lesson is really foundational for that one. So check it out if you haven't already. And until next time, goodbye.